Welcome to Yin Yoga. And in today's class, have all the props handy, your strap, blocks, blanket, towel, bolster. And we're going to start on our back today in a position using the bolster. Now, a bolster or a rolled up towel or blanket, but a bolster running lengthways down your mat and turn your back on it and simply lay the back on your bolster so you have this arched support in the low back. Now, depending on the position of your head and neck, I'm feeling a little bit too much head tilt, so I'm going to prop up the back of the head with a blanket. And we'll start with the knees together, feet apart, and the hands just 45 degrees out from the hips, palm face up. And we're going to use this initial part of the Yin class to open the front body in a very gentle, supportive way on the low back. Let your breathing start to slow down. So you'll notice that I often ask that you slow the breath down and breathe more gently. So the paradox here is when you slow the breath and breathe more gently, the breath deepens without any effort. It's like you were breathing in the fragrance of the forest. You savor the breath. And to do that, you need to soften the face. So allow the face to soften. And as the face softens, allow the whole spinal column to soften. Carefully straighten the left leg only. And lay the right knee out to the right, so the foot of the right foot just brushes up against your inner thigh. You've created this variation of tree pose. Opening the hip while you're in this extended back bend. Now, with great care, bring both hands above the heart and interlace the fingers and point the fingers up to the ceiling so you straighten the arms. And then very slowly dial those straight arms back over the head, creating the top of the tree, pointing to the sky, even though you're horizontal. So we have the back bend, the slow, gentle breath. The right hip open. And a stretch through the rib cage, unclogging the pelvis. Inhale, bring the arms back. And hug yourself. So your left hand's on the right shoulder, right hand's on the left shoulder, and just pull the shoulders down away from you and change legs. Straighten the right leg up, open the left hip into tree pose on the other side. Pull the shoulders down a little more. So in a sense, we're compressing the rib cage with that downward pull of the shoulders, but we're releasing the tension in the neck and maybe the skull and the shoulders. Maintain the slow, gentle breath. Can you relax the shoulders even more as you straighten both legs? Relax both arms beside you, palms up. Bend both knees and roll to one side, coming off your bolster. Curl up into a little ball, cradle the head, curl the knees up, and as best as you can, just move the bolster or blanket out of the way from behind you. And in this position, extend the top arm, reaching down towards your feet. And feel how the shoulder comes away from your ear. Spread the hand open so you have a stretch in the fingers. And imagine that arm is going to create a big slow circle right around the shoulder joint, all over the head. So slowly sweep it out in front, over the head. You can even roll back towards your back a little bit as you bring it behind you, until it completes a full 360 loop back towards the feet. I want you to do that twice more. And then just for symmetry, we'll roll to the other side. Same position on the other side. Spreading the hand, reaching for the feet. And when you're ready, start your 3 full revolutions of the shoulder joint here. Remember, when it comes behind your back, you can roll back towards your back and you get that little thoracic twist. Should feel nice. Good. That's perfect speed. And then relax. And you're going to come onto your back once again. And this time we're going to use the bolster or blanket to support the hips. So push up, lift the hips, slide the bolster underneath the buttocks and the low back. And I want you to be in a position where the low back feels supported, comfortable. Make sure your strap is handy. Extend the left leg out and draw the right knee up towards the right armpit. You can squeeze that knee in as much as you like. And let's rotate the foot while we're here. Rotate the other way. And then grab your kneecap and push it in a slow circle about the hip joint. So just like we rotated the shoulder capsule, or the arm in the shoulder capsule, let's do the same with the right femur into the hip, stirring into the hip joint. Maybe stir it back the other way. Pull that knee back in towards the armpit so you get another nice deep stretch. And this time bend the left leg, stand the left foot on the mat and cross the right ankle over into a figure four. Pick the figure four up so the left foot floats into the air, the figure four comes back towards your ribs, and grab the figure four in whatever way you want. Squeeze it as much as feels good on the low back. Grab your strap and put it over the right foot and extend the right foot to the sky. See if you can keep floating the left knee and foot up. And just hold that extended right leg, heel to heaven. You can pull down on a strap to get a little more resistance against the bones of the leg. Curl the toes back so you feel the back of that right leg get a delicious stretch. Now carefully lower the right leg, keeping it straight towards the ground. Keep the left knee up if you can. So you feel the shift in stretch move into the lower leg, into the calf muscles. Good. And then slowly bring it up once again. And feel how that traction moves into the back of the hamstring, through the buttocks into the low back. Take both ends of the strap into the right hand and squeeze the left knee with the left hand. So the left knee now comes back towards the ribs. And hopefully you can pull that right leg back a little more towards the head here. So it's going to increase the hamstring lengthening and traction out the low back even more. Carefully pull the right leg out to the right so you feel the stretch now move into the internal thigh as well as the hamstring. And the left knee can come out a little bit to the left to keep you balanced on your back. Keep working the toes of the right foot back so you maintain that nice lengthening through that right leg. Bring that leg back up. Create your figure four once again. You can let the strap go. And once again, I want you to squeeze the figure four in. Just noticing if there's any difference. And then slowly lower the left foot so the figure four comes back. Left foot on the ground. And take your right hand and simply push against the leg bone. Push against the femur. So it's unclogging the pelvis. And once again, the left hand can go over the head, reaching behind you. All right, releasing the tension, releasing the figure four. Pick up the left knee now and hug it towards the left shoulder. And you can straighten the right leg out. And start to rotate the left foot. Really give that ankle plenty of movement, and you can rotate it in the opposite direction as well. Bend the right knee, stand the right foot on the mat, and cross the left ankle over so you create that figure four on the other hip. And when you're ready, float the right foot up so you bring the figure four back towards you, and then hold your figure four in whatever way feels good. So you get into that left piriformis, left hip, left thigh. Once again, vary the strength of your squeeze. So every now and then squeeze a little harder. Just see how that feels. Remember, you're trying to squeeze out some of the tight contracted muscles in the left hip that move into the left low back. Excellent. And keeping the right knee up, put the strap over the left foot. Heel to heaven and pull down against the strap. So you feel that pressure move into the ankle joint down the leg bone. And hopefully you're feeling some length in the back of that extended left leg. And once again, you can lower that left leg slowly towards the floor, keeping tension on the strap and feeling that stretch move into the calf muscle as it approaches the floor. Don't rely on just the strap for the stretch. Make sure you press out through the heel bone. And then slowly elevate that leg once again. And this time grab the strap with the left hand. So you're squeezing the right knee back in towards the shoulder and you're pulling back on the strap, the foot towards the head. And this should go into the low back even more, so more of a traction. Keep that tension on the strap as you straddle the hips apart. Get a nice split going here. And keep pushing through the left heel bone so you hopefully feel a delicious lengthening in the inner thigh on the left leg. There'll be a small inner stretch on the right as well, but not as much, not as pronounced. And then slowly bring the hips back together and cross the left ankle over the right. Release the strap. And once again, squeeze your figure four in. And hopefully you're starting to feel a little more freedom in the hips and low back. And then slowly release the right foot to the ground. Keep the figure four and press the thigh away from you, the left thigh with the left hand. And the right hand's going to reach over the head, lengthening the rib cage. And always use these long held poses as an ideal time to experiment. Can you reach a little more with that right arm? Can you push a little harder into the left thigh? So you're just exploring, experimenting. Any feeling of sharpness or pain, you back off. Gently exhale and release. Drop the left foot to the ground. Lift the hips and remove the bolster out of the way for now. And then roll over to one side. Press up to a semi-seated position. You can lean on your elbow. We're going to set up some more props here. So pretty prop intensive. I want you to take the bolster again, and this time just bring it across the mat, kind of underneath your rib cage. So, and I like to have a bolster, a block for my head. Now the block's going to be about 12 inches north of the bolster. Keep your strap handy in case you. And I want you to see if you can come into this position where you lie your rib cage over the bolster. You bring your shoulder joint down into the space created between the block and the bolster. And the head can lay on the block. Now you can play around with the head position here. For instance, I'm going to see if my head can go lower, so I'm going to use a towel instead of a block. So we're going to get into a little bit of work on that. So if you can bring both knees back a little bit more, so rather than curling the body, you have more of a shoulders, hip and knee alignment. And as you do that, squeeze the buttocks and push the hips forward. Now pick up just the top knee and bring it towards your ribs, and see if you can grab the knee with the left hand, with your top hand, slide it down and grab your ankle joint, so you're kind of trying to pull the foot back behind you. Now if you can't reach the ankle, I'm going to recommend you take a strap around the ankle and hold a strap. So you should be starting to feel a quadricep stretch here. Start to carefully straighten the bottom leg. So now you have this situation where the shoulders, hips, knees and feet are lined up. Push the top hip forward a bit more so you increase the stretch in the quad. Every now and then push the hips forward more, pull the foot back more, so you, as the quadricep lengthens, you feel, oh, I can go a little deeper. Carefully release the top leg and relax. While we're in this relaxed position, let's do those shoulder rotations once again. So spread the hand and turn the arm a full 360. Allow yourself to roll backwards a little bit when it's above the head, behind the back. And we'll do 3 rotations in your own time. And once again, come to a resting point and relax. Now we're going to change sides slowly, but in between the 2 sides, I want you to come into child pose, resting your head on the bolster. Give the low back time to traction out. Three more breaths here. and we'll go to the other side. Take your time. Take the first 5 or 6 breaths just to settle into this new side, this new position. And if you haven't already, start to align the knees, hips and shoulders, so you start to feel, oh yes, I'm less curled up, I'm a little straighter. And as you settle into that shape, start to bring the top knee up, slide the hand down the knee towards the ankle. And carefully straighten the bottom leg. And once again, 5 or 6 breaths simply to come into alignment and attunement to this new shape. So there's more stretch on the quad. Every now and then squeeze your buttocks and push the hips forward and bring the top shoulder back so you really feel that increase in sensation in the quad. This might get a little challenging on the wrist grip as well. Grip strength might start to fatigue after a while. You can rest at any time, of course. But every now and then push those hips forward. Whew. Feel the quad open up, hip flexor. Three more breaths here. And then carefully release that top leg and relax. Now take the top arm and spread the hand and circumnavigate the shoulder joint 3 or 4 times. Oh, let yourself roll back a little bit into a lumbar twist as it floats behind the back. And then relax once again after your 3 revolutions. And once again, come onto all fours. You can bend the knees, roll onto all fours, come into child pose, resting your head on your bolster. We've just done a lot of back bending, so we wouldn't need to traction out the low back. Knees wide. We'll do about 10 breaths in child's pose. Carefully come up, find a block and take a seat on a block. Make sure your strap is handy. And we'll start just with the legs extended, toes curled back. So let's start with the right knee, just bending the right knee. So right knee is bent, left leg is extended. Just lean forward into that thigh. Just feel the traction in the lower back. You might like to have a blanket handy or a cushion. Now take that left foot and see if you can just stand it on the right side of that extended leg so you've crossed over. And once again, just lean forward, traction out the lower back. Come on up, and then we're going to start to pull back on that bent knee until the knee approaches the other knee. Now this is where you might put something between the knees like a cushion or and just sit up nice and straight for a moment. So we have this half shoelace pose. Now take your strap and just bring it around the foot that's close to your left hip. So you kind of have strapped it up. And then bring that strap behind the back and see if your right hand can reach back and grab the strap. And that pulls the foot in a little closer, and left hand can come onto the knee joint. And you'll notice that bringing your right shoulder back, you start to turn towards the right. And see if you can turn in a way that the neck feels freed up, so you can turn the head to the left. So you're in a thoracic twist with the neck turning in the opposite direction. And for the next 3 or 4 breaths, simply swivel the head back to the right. And slowly back to the left. A few times. Inhale to neutral, relax the grip, let the body unwind itself. And we're going to change, again, gradually extend both legs, bend just the right knee, grab the knee and lean forward. Just feel that traction out the lower back. And slowly come up and see if you can once again stand that left foot over onto the right side of the leg. And once again come forward. And then we'll walk that left foot back until the knee comes down towards the other knee. Keep that right leg extended and the toes curled back. So the right leg's getting that nice posterior chain stretch. Half shoelace on this side, just feeling it, getting used to it. Hopefully you can lean forward a little bit if you're on the edge of your block. And that'll definitely shoot a stretch into the hamstring. Let's take the strap over the foot that's nearest you. And reach around behind the back with the left hand and find the strap and start to bring the left shoulder back. Right hand crosses so you feel that twist. Sit up tall as you turn the head towards the front shoulder. And then maintaining the shape, slowly swivel the head. from shoulder to shoulder. Good. Inhale back to neutral. Relax. Uncross and extend both legs once again. Now you can change your seat onto a bolster or rolled up blanket. And this time we'll simply bring the soles of the feet together. And see if you can sit in a way that allows you to sit on the edge of your seat so you feel a forward tilt without any effort. So that's going to really help open the hips here. Maybe massage the bottom of the feet and the top of the feet a little bit while they're there, nice and handy. You can even pull the toes back for a nice toe stretch. Now you can change your seat to any seat you like. You can keep bound angle if you want to keep that hip open, up to you. But sit in any position you like that feels good. At the end of your practice, you can sit high on blocks or whatever. Relax the shoulders as you sit tall. You can have eyes soft, hazy, or closed. Let the breath soften once again and slow down and paradoxically deepen. Keeping the lips sealed. Gently press the tip of the tongue behind your teeth and to the front of the roof of the mouth, constricting the airway a little bit, so you have to pull back a little more strongly with the nostrils to get the air in. and you hopefully can hear yourself breathing. It has almost a Darth Vader sound. We call it the ocean sounding breath, the victory breath. Ujjai breath. And that breath sound can be as loud or as quiet as you like. But I want you to dial it in like you're trying to find a radio station on the old radio where you turn the dial until you get the right reception. Now, the right reception means you're going to be totally focused on your breathing, and the static of all your thoughts are going to be moved into the background. So for some people, that's going to be a very loud sound. For some people, a more modest, moderate sound. And for some people, almost a silent sound. Drag the breath back through the nostrils. Like the air has become heavy. Light. Slow. Deep. Sounding breath. Sound as you inhale. Sound as you exhale. Three more rounds. And then let the breath become silent, quiet, letting the storm pass. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.